Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft with another tip or trick. A little something to help out around the camp. It's a dingle stick. Stay with me. Okay. What is a dingle stick? D-I-N-G-L-E. I have no clue where the name originated. That's what I heard it called when I was a kid. But in a nutshell, a dingle stick is a stick that you manufacture in the woods to perform some sort of camp chore or function. A digging stick is a dingle stick. A mallet for batoning is a dingle stick. Any produced in the field tool that you're going to chuck when you're done is a dingle stick. It basically means disposable tool. Now, notice my nice wide V here. This is out of Yopon. They're everywhere down here. And I happened to look up and spot this a few minutes ago, cutting through the woods down here. And so I decided in the middle of shooting this other video, I was going to shoot this real quick because I needed one of these for later. Now, notice it's got a nice wide V, and the handle kind of dips toward that V. Now, here's what this is going to be used for. My bush pot. Now, although this Pathfinder bush pot comes with handles on it, a lot of pots don't. And where I saw this used a lot was people who are using coffee cans and stuff like that. But in a nutshell, it's a way you can pour with the pot without having a handle on it, as in a back handle. I got a Miss Blackie makes a nice tight pouch for putting the bush pot in. I ain't gonna lose it. Now, my well-used bush pot that I will pull the guts out of for a moment, and my accessory pan. Now, simple pots that you make out of coffee cans or things that you just make a wire bail on, you can pour them by taking a stick, holding the bail and grabbing the front and doing this, but it wants to do that a little bit. A dingle stick goes through the handle, and then a series of notches lock it into position so that you can pour with it without the pot swinging. So, here's what you do. First, you have your pot. Then you have a nice wide V. This is actually a little too wide, but we're going to make it work anyway. And what we want to do is stick it in there. And we want to figure out where we want it to grip. Right about there. First notch we're going to cut is this one up here. And this is going to be a pot hook notch, just like Morris Kahansky does. Make sure you're in the center top right there. Okay. Now, my big open L, I'm going to cut a notch like Morris Kahansky talks about for a pot hook right here, which is an X that you're then going to open up. These open L's are good knives. They are thin blade, good steel. I've got the carbon steel ones. And they cut really well. No, they're not for batoning. No, they're not for prying on, because it's a knife. It is not a batoning chisel or something like that. It's made for this right here. And as a good knife, it cuts very well. I like mine a lot. And I've got several of them. I like this big one for camp chores sometimes. I don't show it a lot in my videos because I tend to use my Mora or something else, but this just happened to be on my belt today. And I like using it for this type of work. Notice that I'm cutting where I'm leaving the limb between me and my fingers, so there's no danger of it slipping and biting me. Cutting in that notch, and then you undercut it a little bit, about that much, so that it will lock on. Shaving it down in there. Try to do this for you in real time instead of making a bunch of cuts. I know, boring as watching paint. Here goes Blackie rambling again about whatever. Maybe not so bad. Now, passing it through, putting that right there. Need to deepen it just a little. It's at the right place. It looks good, but I just need to deepen it. And that don't take but just a second. Dingle sticks are used for fire pokers, lid lifters, stirring sticks, all kinds of stuff. The object of the game is to find a need and make it. Squirrel cookers, stuff like that. We often made them when I was younger, strictly out of sticks. We didn't carry nothing for it. Now, once I got into living history, I carried, you know, wrought iron firearms and stuff. But I didn't do that when I was younger. Okay, now, here where it touches. I want to leave one of them long. I'm going to leave this one long and cut it off. The other one I'm going to cut off about maybe a ½ inch past the point. So let's start with that. Which means right there at that notch is where it's going to go. Layer down, press down, kukri time. That one's done. Now this one I'm leaving a lot longer for a reason. So right about there. It's about right. Now on this long one right here, we're going to thin that thing out a little bit and make it where it's flat pointed. Take off all that excess meat right quick. With a kukri, it don't take long. See, I made it a nice flat point up there on that end. There's a reason for that. We'll get to that. Now I'll just pretty it up with this blade. And up here, which way would I want to hold it? This way. Up here on the top, I'll say a ½ inch back, past where this knob is, I want to put a notch. A simple 7 notch will do, right there. So, I know, don't cut on your leg, Blackie. That's a bad idea. You are absolutely correct. I shouldn't have done that. Simple 7 notch. Right there. Now, this will be this way in use. Turning it upside down now, I have that notch right there. And that notch is going to serve a purpose. I'm going to show you what that purpose is in just a second. Now, putting it up here to my pot, locking in my big notch, folding down, seeing where it should be. Does it need a notch or not? No, it does not. Now, good and stable, like that, I can tip it and pour. So, what's the other flat point for? This right here. When you've got your pot on and you take that flat point, remember that notch I cut in the back, you go through the tab and lift up and lift the lid off the pot. Now you can come back and put the lid on the pot and press down and leave it on there. That's to grab the lid so the lid don't slide off and go into your coals or whatever. So the back side is for taking the lid off. The big side is for this. You lock it into the notch and you pour. So now I can reach over here and pick the pot up, turn around, and with one hand pour while I'm stirring. If I'm using hot water, especially I'd do it left-handed. Pick the pot up and I'd go to pouring and stir in to make whatever and not have to worry about the pot sliding off. See, I can turn this thing up horizontal and it's stable like that. That's the advantage of this dingle stick in camp. Now, these are small enough that I can go, turn around the right way, through the bales, pick it up one-handed. So I can set it down, come in, go on the fire, pick it up, turn around here, pour coffee one-handed, come back, set it back on the fire, back up on the pot hook, whatever, with this. Now this other end, I can chisel it off and use it for a digging stick. I can also use it as a fire poker to move stuff around my fire. Hook me a lanyard on it so I can hang it up or stand it up close to the camp. A dingle stick. Flat pointed to remove the lid and hold the lid, flip it over, and I can pick up the pot and hold the pot. Quick and simple. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. You can make dingle sticks for squirrel cookers. Dingle stick becomes your tripod, it becomes your cooking set. It's all those sticks you make out there. But I hadn't seen anybody make this one, the pouring stick is what we called it, the pot stick. I've also seen, if you really want, you got time and you're bored, I've seen them carve a spoon on this end. So that you had this to pick it up, turn it around, you scooped up food, tasted it, stirred the pot, turned around, put the lid back on. Kind of fancy. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.